Going to be starting here in 1 second. Just going to make sure that this loads, and we'll be all good. Sorry, I got under the gun. The phone died a little bit.
Rice has not been at 100% in this World Cup. He's been playing injured ever since the Arsenal days here. Now on sixth time here as an early foul zone. How are we doing, John?
Apologize coming under the gun. I had to make sure my phone was charged as we can get underneath. A little bit of the anthem, a drown of booze for Argentina. I know these players have nothing to do with that before we got things started.
If people, for those who know the lore about it, it's been decades upon decades of history. These two teams first met in 1962. The most famous match came in 1986 with Maradona's hand of God and goal of the century. Then you get to the two matches which were the centerpiece of the news revolved around David Beckham. In 1998 for his red card and his redemption in 2002.
Already have a little bit of a situation here early as players are meeting toward midfield.
I don't know where your marker is at. My marker says 218 right now. I'm getting the Nicolas Tagliafico inbound. He gets this in deep as everybody fighting for this possession to loose ball. Well, somebody's arguing that there should be a handball call. I think that's what it's called. The fingers out of it.
Yeah, I'm up.
Now someone's down.
Yep, that's the late challenge that I see here in the mix of Anderson. He gets tied up a little bit toward the referee cam, about 40 seconds ahead of you. So again, as you said, you'd be taking the lead. I'll be taking the color for you on this side. But look, the tensions are already starting to rise, and we talked about that a little bit, and you've already discussed in the pregame of what this means. I'm just interested to continue to see if England can keep that possession game going and whether or not Lionel Messi continues to be able to do some damage alongside with this team, because Argentina has a group that has tons of experience, and they're one of the oldest left inside the World Cup.
Argentina's made it to two of the last three World Cups. They're looking to make it three of the last four. They lost the 2014 one to Germany on Mario Götze's extra time winner. Of course, the last one was the thriller against France, in which they won in penalties after a 3-3 draw. But I did check in on Elliot Anderson. He seemed to be favoring his neck as he got knocked down. Argentina was complaining about a missed handball before that, but we're hoping Anderson is okay. He is up, so that's good news.
Yeah, a couple fouls already, as you talked about, and we will continue to monitor the situation here And we'll see, honestly, whether or not Argentina's back line, a little bit from what I saw in that game against Switzerland, maybe they.
They do have the tendency behind open holes for open space to follow through. That's where Jude Bellingham likes to attack, straight away down the middle. Here, Julian Alvarez was pressuring Declan Rice to give up the ball, but we do know how dangerous Bellingham can be. He scored 4 of the last 5 England goals.
You have England again as the jerseys in white going left to right, Argentina right to left, and the jerseys in blue today.
And these are Argentina's road colors, the navy blue. These are not their traditional sky blue with white stripes home jerseys that they typically wear, like in that World Cup final against France. Which, speaking of France, it'll be a sad farewell when they play that first place match, because Didier Deschamps will be managing his final game as the French manager in the third place game on Saturday.
I know you mentioned it a little bit in our previous when I saw some of the posts online, but 2 goals essentially for Spain against France, and you said they made them look pretty pedestrian. That's a pretty good indication of, I guess, how good Spain can be, isn't it?
Oh, yes. And which, quite honestly, I wasn't surprised with how Spain has maneuvered this World Cup. What I was surprised by is how they made France look almost unrecognizable from the start to finish.
And that's what's going to be awaiting either England or Argentina, the winner, on Sunday. Again, both of those games, 3 o'clock. Third place game will be on Saturday. Winning game will be Sunday.
And here's Argentina trying to steal the ball away. Somebody falls down. Yet another foul is called. And what I like to see from Spain is that more Lamine Yamal. He hasn't done a lot in this tournament, but quite frankly, given how outstanding Spain's defense is, he didn't really have to do all that much, because it's Rodri who set the example. Pedro Porro had an outstanding game. He was the best player for that entire game against France.
That's what you have to have. You have to have players step up in throughout the tournament. It can't just be your golden boot chasers here, as you talk about through any sport. Again, we'll see what you end up having in front of you here, but I'm pretty intrigued the way that this one started so far.
Morgan Rogers tried to center it, and that's going to be a corner for the English, as it was knocked away by who I believe was Alexis McAllister, number 20.
Rice is going to get set to take this service into the box.
He's been the usual setup man on corner kicks, and this time it's no different. Now, he's been managing an injury throughout this World Cup that injury suffered when he was on Arsenal. He's been rolling through as one of the 2 starting defensive midfielders alongside Elliot Anderson. So he's going to take this. And we do know about the lineup change. Morgan Rogers at the right wing. He was impressive in the back half against Norway, the last game that we covered. As Rice sets this one up, as this is headed away. Bodies flying in front of the box as this is cleared out. Oh, this is getting ugly here early. Another whistle sound. This is ugly.
Yeah, it's going to belong to Argentina here. Look, John Stone's not like a Irving Holland takedown, but you get tied up in the middle bit of the penalty area as the possession goes the other way.
I just don't know what to say here.
A lot of physical contact. Again, we could talk about what soccer or football can be in terms of, you talk about players going up and down, as you mentioned throughout, and I think the same thing that you do, but there's been a lot of physicality in this game so far. That cannot be denied.
That cannot be denied, as Argentina has played physically, and they're a team that can get under your skin. That's what they're known for the reputation, no matter what the year it is. Another foul, this one against England. Jude Bellingham taking down Nicolas Tagliafico.
Let me ask you, Alec, because we're still getting underway with all this stuff, and from what's in front of me, I think we'll have some time to talk about this. But what do you make of Lionel Messi? I saw an article about him mentioning that about 70% of the match, all he really does is walk up and down the pitch. Well, honestly, he's just kind of saving his energy for the next point of conversion to try to get an attack. I mean, you're not really trying to pace yourself all that much unless you need to go ahead and get an attack. So you kind of see that he's just kind of setting it up, waiting for his teammates to do something, and then when he gets a chance, he'll go.
That's what's to make of him. That he conserves his energy and then uses it for when he's setting up an attack.
Yeah.
Offensive foul against Argentina, and when we're talking about setting up an attack, he usually would have one or two energetic wingers right next to him. Would it be Julian Alvarez or Lautaro Martinez? As they're the energy guys on Argentina.
I saw that Argentina is going to run a 4-1-3-2, another extra attacker. England a 4-2-3-1. Harry Kane is usually the one up there, so we'll see how that ends up playing in situation. A couple late goals previously there against Switzerland for them to be able to win in extra time as well. Again, our game went 2-1. That one was 3-1 a few days ago.
Yeah, we mentioned about the Argentina victory against Switzerland. Julian Alvarez with one of the best goals in the tournament, a wonder ball, which is reminiscent of Jermaine Jones' goal against Portugal in the group stage in 2014.
Still in a feeling out stage as Alex getting closer to the 10th minute of action here. We're still scoreless.
Yeah, that foul that I mentioned that in which was taken down, Nicolas Tagliafico, that was Reece James, not Jude Bellingham. Well, not a lot of space for England to fire that home. Emiliano Martinez with the easiest saves of this match.
Are we playing indeed at Mercedes-Benz Stadium? Is that Atlanta I see?
This is Atlanta.
Oh my goodness, Alec. You're talking about physicality. You're going to start to see that. I'm looking at some bowling pins on my screen.
Emiliano Martinez sends this deep. As is his front four, sent out the bounce by John Stone, so this will be inbounded by Tagliafico from the left wing back side. Lisandro Martinez wasn't the starting left center back in the last World Cup. That role went to Nicolas Otamendi, who's now 38 years old in this year's World Cup. But this is all likely going to be Otamendi's last World Cup. But here comes England and bowling pins, as you said, John, with several players tripping over each other. More players fall down, and now the whistle sounds. Oh my goodness. What are things happening going on here?
Yeah, I'm not trying to oversell or undersell. I don't think either one of us are trying to do that, but you would think at some point, again, it depends on the severity of the challenge, that if the referees want to try to put a stop to this at some point, if you get enough fouls here, don't you think we could start maybe issuing cards, or is that not how it works?
Oh, we'll see. If it's dirty enough, then it will be
Yeah.
a card. But Enzo Fernandez really went at it with the English player carrying this ball. This could have easily been worse had it led to an altercation.
We have 8 fouls inside the first 12 minutes.
That doesn't seem real at all. But that's this rivalry for you. So we're still discussing who has possession of the ball. They'll determine it's Argentina's ball, and it's Lisandro Martinez, number 6. Last World Cup, he wore number 25. Now he's wearing number 6, as Hernan Becerra did not make the final cuts. Enzo Fernandez will take it up the middle, 24 in blue. To the right side, a mishandle, but a teammate saved that ball for Argentina. 12.5 minutes deep. Fernandez, we're still waiting for the first goal of this game. Now, Molina will have 1 to 2 goals for Argentina against the Netherlands in the last World Cup in the quarterfinals. That was one of the more violent matches of that World Cup, where 19 bookies were issued, 18 yellow cards, and 1 red card. And that red card came after the game finished.
The chippiness has not left here. You'll get something on your screen and we'll discuss it.
Yeah, offside, as one of the Argentines was behind the last line of defense, Jordan Pickford. And that is Giuliano Simeone, a new addition to the Argentine lineup. He wears number 17. He wanted to get the first good chance, but was caught behind the last line defense.
And you got Pickford essentially knocking him down and knocking the ball away from a little gamesmanship on both sides.
Of course, you don't usually see chippiness this much, but when you see a rivalry to the likes of Argentina and England, this is what is going to happen. Of course, another notable rivalry involving Argentina involves the Netherlands. I mentioned that. This isn't even those two aren't even the most violent rivalries between them, because the Argentina-Brazil rivalry has been historically violent. Here comes England up the far side. Anthony Gordon blazing up with speed. Here's Gordon wide to set up. Gordon waits. Gordon trying to set up. And he had too many defenders with him and loses the ball. Here's Simeon the other way. Moves this one up. A low chance for England here early as Argentina wanted to capitalize here on their first good chance. Intended for Julian Alvarez as he meets it to the right side. Waiting on the wing is Enzo Fernandez. Generating this up. He wanted to go to Messi. Racing after the ball now. It is Tagliafico keeping possession for La Scaloneta. This is Leandro Paredes taking this back. Lisandro over to Paredes. Of course, I'm saying Lisandro because he's one of three players on Argentina with the last name Martinez. Enzo Fernandez to Nahuel Molina as Simeon operating on the right side back for Fernandez. Paredes setting this up for Alexis McAllister. Inside the box is headed away by Mark Gay on the chase down. Jed Spence shoves away Giuliano Simeone. It still will be an inbound for Argentina.
Yeah, that was a good play there for Gay to knock that ball away in a dangerous area.
Yep. As to prevent Argentina from getting a high scoring chance, we've seen balls getting kicked from just outside the boxes with the Julian Alvarez goal as Paredes fades it up. Everybody falls it away. Lionel Messi couldn't take this one up. Let's give it up. Hard tackle. They will not call a foul. There is a hard tackle. They'll say all ball. On the right center back side is Cristian Romero. Setting this up for Alexis McAllister. McAllister giving this up. No foul. All ball from England. They'll say all ball. As one of Argentina's full behind the play and more bodies fall down. Anthony Gordon, the center of it.
Some very meaty tackles here, Alec, between the two. Remember, we sent in our last match against Norway about 20 minutes waiting to get underneath the action, and now we kind of have all of that there. Just some, I would say, pretty heady tackles. They've been spot on, but it's been tight.
Yep, and it's heavy tackles, but it's all ball, those tackles. Morgan Rogers, we covered him late in the last match against Norway for England. He was superb in the back half. He set up the second Bellingham goal where Orion Nyland had no chance of stopping.
And again, you mentioned Jed Spence, Rogers, a couple guys that were coming off the bench in the previous game get a chance to start in this one.
So in any case, we'll see how much they're going to be used before we see Ezri Konsa and Nico O'Reilly again. Those were the starters for the Norway game for England. So these are two of the top four ranked teams in the FIFA World Rankings. It's the first time in World Cup history that the last 4 teams standing are the top 4 teams in the World Rankings. Fernandez battles Spence. There will be, we'll see what. Might be a corner, might be a goal kick. I just don't say goal kick.
We got some crazy tackles here. You'll get that one ahead, but another one all ball and toward the right side of the wing as England was trying to set up possession. No dice left to do so again.
John Stone sets up Jordan Pickford on the way back as Argentina doesn't get a lot of mustard on that chance. Declan Rice down the right side. He and Anderson flip sides. Advanced up ahead, just kept in. And England keeps possession on a hard Nicolas Tagliafico tackle on Morgan Rogers. And Rogers is a little banged up, asking for a foul.
Yeah, you called it right. Tagliafico with an excellent challenge there toward the right wing. And this has just been a well-played defensive game. I talked about there earlier, maybe some pressure on the Argentinian back line. Not right now, Alec. Their tackles seem to be sharp and true.
Yet all ball, no fouls on them. As we see it, as Margay leaves this to the left, waiting is Reece James. He'll go back to Gay. As Stones on the right. Does he try the right side? Yes, he will. Argentina countering up to defend that. James will move it up. Rogers over to Declan Rice. He's surrounded. Rogers, double team. It's flipped back over. Couldn't reach Rogers. It'll stay with England because it was forced out by La Scaloneta. Elliot Anderson. Chased after by Julian Alvarez. Remember we talked about the energy guys used for Argentina? Alvarez is one of those. He'll be coming over to Atletico Madrid as here's Rogers from just outside the box. Over to James Carrick Bay. Nobody was in front of Emiliano Martinez. Easy save.
Yeah, Reece James trying to look for a service in the box. As Alec called, there was nobody there to receive it. It'd be an easy save on the other end. Again, you got both goalkeepers in the mix of Martinez and Pickford that have been to multiple World Cups. They have tons of experience. You got some of the best keepers in there as well on top of the best team. So it'd be a good matchup.
The single biggest highlight of Dibu Martinez's career being that big save he made on Randall Colomboani in the 2022 World Cup final. Argentina will get this back. Cristiano Romero, one of the two center backs, new defensive partner next to him, that's Lisandro Martinez, as I mentioned earlier. Not Nicolas Otamendi, who has been a mainstay of the Argentine national team for the last few World Cups. Tagliafico, or Julian Alvarez, who just kept this in. Alvarez, moving up, wanting to use the energy. Across towards the box. This is in front, cleared away by Gay. Will be settled down by Argentina. This feed, still in the box, offside.
And Alec, what a stark difference this was from a few days ago. I know a different matchup, but you had that possession within the first 20 minutes that were predominantly 80% for England. It's kind of a dead heat, about 47 on both sides with 3% in contest. This is pretty even matchup right now, very physical.
It is. Of course, when you get this type of rivalry, it can get exciting. It's just more defensive, which is what we expect to see here from both clubs. That England's defense need to step up. So far, it's been pretty much everything happening. Offense, defense, you name it. On the chase down, goalie to goalie. And a foul in front of Emiliano Martinez as Tagliafico tripped up Morgan Rogers.
And toward the right side of the box, again, we're about to enter this 22nd minute here. Alec talked about the defense they're able to see here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That is exactly what we're talking about now. All sides of the coin here. And as Alec mentioned, you got the four top teams left in this World Cup matchup. It's been pretty spicy.
It has. And then some, as McAllister and Paredes are exchanging looks. Leandro Paredes came off the bench in the World Cup final last time around. He was one of the four in the final. The other being Paulo Dybala, who is not on the roster. Julian Alvarez tried to center, went off, was blocked, and he'll inbound it. He will inbound it. So it's more the feeling out process before we get to the hydration break.
Yeah, we've already had a lot of that, so it's certainly cold right. As we're going to be looking in toward midfield here for possession in Argentina.
It's 50-50 the possession game for both sides, safe to say. It's not like last time when England is dominating possession. This is up for grabs. The foul as one of the Argentines is down and hurt. That's Alexis McAllister, who is part of the World Cup winning team, and now the whistle is blown to tend to McAllister.
Yeah, he got hit toward the back side of his shin. They're going to try to get up something set up here with Lionel Messi to see what Argentina can do off this partial set piece.
It's going to be taken from the middle third, and Lionel Messi can play all cycles around midfield, attacker. So usually he's a forward for the matter. So this is going to be a partial set piece, a deep free kick. So ideally you want to get someone to get through. Instead he's going to take it short to the right side for Simeone. Simeone on the shaking big round, Jet Spence in front. What was the last touch?
It's going to belong here to Argentina.
Does the corner as Jet Spence blocked the shots. Oh, and of course, when you see World Cup games, there's no shortage of celebrities and former players around, even alumni previous teams. Xavi was part of the Spanish alumni attendance for yesterday's game at Dallas Stadium.
And that one was a little bit closer as we're going to hit the hydration break.
So Referees are conferring with Jordan Pickford and Giuliani Simeone as Messi is going to take this corner kick from the far side. He's a designated man for such set pieces. As is in front, whistle blows, offensive foul, and in all likelihood that takes us to the hydration break.
Yes, it was, and it's hit Jed Spence in the back of the head. A little friendly fire stopped that one from going in the back of the net outside of the foul as we hit the break, as you mentioned. It's pretty interesting. Again, only my second game, and looking alongside with Alec, we've been working a lot of other stuff together outside of the World Cup. So it's fun to get a chance to do that, but a different sets in tenure and tone in this one. Alec talked about a little bit of that rivalry. You're certainly seeing it there with all the challenges. We mentioned offense, defense, speed up and down the pitch, a lot of physicality. And this has been fun considering, and I can certainly see a little bit of snarl and ire in Argentina because I would also say, too, as we talk about in the Open, when you get your anthem and it gets booed in terms of all the other crowd, I think that's just going to fuel you more.
Has been the case here for Argentina because we remember in one of the Four Nations games that the Canadians booed the United States national anthem. I'm not going to get into context, but it fueled the United States to win that game. In turn, the United States booed the Canadian national anthem in the Four Nations Championship. Canada used that as fuel for that some can argue. Here, Argentina has used the booing of their national anthem as fuel early on here. And it sparked them to get some good chances here early.
I will say this, at least for Argentina, we really haven't had to call Jude Bellingham or Harry Kane, have we not? I mean, there hasn't been a lot of possession for any of that stuff to get going here. So you can certainly say, at least at this point, if you don't have an edge, you can certainly say Argentina is stopping the top line in goal scorers and goal race of England right now.
Yeah, for that matter, it's not a lot of possession for the English over the last 10 or so minutes in this match. It's been mostly Argentina leading the way, and as we mentioned with Lionel Messi before that offensive foul. So I did want to mention something else here that we do have opening night all ready to go with. The opening night the NHL is set for September 29th. It's a triple header for ESPN, double header for Sportsnet, as it'll be Hurricanes Panthers, that's banner night, Rangers Bruins, and Blackhawks Golden Knights on ESPN. The Sportsnet side is Canadians Maple Leafs Canucks Oilers.
Well, if you certainly pencil yourself in for Hurricanes Panthers, I would say that I would join you for that.
You know, that is banner night. Of course, the Hurricanes going up against a healthy Panthers team now with both Kachucks and Jacob Markstrom.
That will certainly be something to watch. I'm glad that you mentioned it.
Yep. They did bring up the Markstrom shout out, not just because he's a former Calgary Flame, one of Cooper's teams, of course.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that tandem ends up working out as well. Kind of feels like a lateral move a little bit.
They're just coming out the hydration break. So Inc will have the session right after the offensive foul on Argentina. Jordan Pickford, a low kick down the middle, was intercepted by Enzo Fernandez. Here's a quick counter. Here's Julian Alvarez sets up on the left side. Not a lot of mustard on that shot, and not a lot of room either.
And that's right out of the hydration break as we talk about it. So the 28th minute, it continues to get physical and toward the right wing side as Reece James gets knocked down pretty hard.
That didn't look like a good kick on the first try for Pickford either. This one was better struck as he did the dink. Oh my goodness! Two English players get hit. Reece James was caught up in a tangle along with one of his teammates, so I didn't get a number, but James was the first one. There was no whistle for it, unbelievably, and Thomas Tuchel is visibly upset. And he has every right to be.
It's 11 fouls already, Alec, inside the first essentially 30 minutes. No cards have been issued. And what I'll say going forward here, you'll get back into the play-by-play, but if this continues and you keep taking a chunk out of these guys, you have to imagine Spain feels pretty good about that.
Yeah, they do. Argentina is visibly healthy all throughout their lineup. England only has the Jordan Henderson injury to worry about. And if England, no matter what happens for the next match, regardless of whether England loses or wins, Jarrell Kwanzaa will be available for the next match. So as he's returning from his 2-game suspension for the red card when he was sent out for the hard and dangerous tackle on Jesus Gallardo. Possession England as Argentina sent it out.
We'll see if England can counter here with any of these through balls, long balls, chances to get up the pitch and get away from this defense a little bit.
Along the near side, in pursuit is Reece James, knocked away by Nicolas Tagliafico. So James will inbound. He's going to set up some chances here from just outside the box. This is controlled by John Stones, the former Manchester City man. And to the left, it is all the way for Jet Spence. On the left wing, Anthony Gordon, the Barcelona man. Back for Spence. Gordon wanted to shake loose up one of the Argentines, and he instead trips him up offensive foul.
Can't escape the back line. Again, I talked about that a little bit in the beginning alongside with Argentina that they might be a little bit susceptible to some of that. We're not seeing it right now. We talked about all the tackles being tried and true. Now both teams looks like in this 31st minute are trying to go with these long plays. Again, as I mentioned, to get away from this defense a little bit, try to create something. Alec, we'll see if we'll get anything inside the first 45, but this has been very tight.
The good news for Argentina is that we haven't seen the bad side of Lisandro blunders to speak of. They've tightened up the gaps. That's what we're talking about. Here's Lisandro with the ball. As he'll take over to Leandro Paredes. Paredes sends the deep ball towards the right side. Too far for the attacker that was approaching on the right side. I can't get a number, but there was a chance that was missed.
They're going to see something here as Simeone in the mix of that back line as well. England trying to make something happen with one of their Golden Boot race award possible winners.
Jordan Pickford hurried up by Julian Alvarez. And Jordan Pickford cleared away by Argentina, but not much of it as Giuliano Simeone loses to Bellingham as Bellingham picks it up. And he is not fouled. Yes, he is. I thought it wasn't something, but now the referee is going to step in as Bellingham loses Simeone.
It's toward the right side of the penalty area, just a few yards out of the box here. Bellingham able to turn on the burners a little bit as they caught him on the back heel. And Declan Rice has a chance now to get things set up here. Good opportunity for England.
There's a free kick. Everybody's going to set up in the box. You're going to mark this one down. This is a semi-dangerous chance for the English as Declan Rice and Reece James. They do have the distance to set absolute boots. Everybody's heading up. Does someone go here for a header? And maybe Harry Kane to Bellingham. Does England strike first here? Or does Argentina clear this one away? The English would love to get something going here. And they would love to win their first World Cup title in 60 years. 1966 was the only time they won it. They were the host that year. Here is Rice. Bodies come down as the ball went wide. Nothing there for the bodies that went down. John Stones was one of them.
Yeah, and he looked like the one where the ball was going toward him for the header, but it just misses toward the right of the post. We'll get possession here for Argentina.
Well, Stones was the one in which he was intended to get the header. There was someone else in which I missed that I thought was knocked out, but wasn't. As Argentina is back in their own defensive third, England and doing a good job with this pressure over the last few minutes. At midfield, this will be a battle between Spence and Simeone and a foul.
Some of the announcers are talking about it now as far as possible yellow cards, considering all the fouls that we saw. So I'm glad that we brought that up here earlier. It's about the end of the 34th minute. Still scoreless, but there's been a lot of action and a lot of physicality, a lot of chunks taken out of both of these teams right now. And the possession here for England, they're trying to make something happen.
As we get Ian here, how are you doing, Ian? I'm doing good, gentlemen. Doing good. I'm going to be sitting in because I do have. Here's Pickford. Over to John. The patience game taking center stage now as England playing with the possession. Right up front as Messi and Alvarez waiting on the both forward ends. All the way down. Nice feet up ahead, down the left side. Nicely defended by Argentina, but England will take it back. On the right, and this will be headed towards the box. Give Bellingham, can't play it. Going out to Simeone. Simeone with jet Spence on his tail. Simeone trying to play it out. Spence almost throw it away. This is Argentina staying with the ball, but they give it away from a dangerous area, and England will keep it. Along the left wing, Anthony Gordon. And this will be a free kick. Free kick for England from just outside the box.
Yes, it is on the left-hand side. Manuel Molina. It's Jude Bellingham on the backside of the leg. Second time he's drawn a foul here and a relatively dangerous chance to try to send it in. Last time, we'll see if England can do the same or whether or not they elect for a possession and a shot.
Perhaps they can go for a boot. Who knows exactly what's going to be the case. And once again, at the center of his, Reece James. It's not Declan Rice. It's going to be James as he's controlled the right wing back, right fullback position. But he's the designated boot for this free kick. So they're waiting along. Everybody positioned in the box. Indicates there's a header in the way. James can also fire this towards the net if he would like to. Now he takes it, and this is up high! Can contest for it! Another header is there! Argentina trying to clear it! Down it will! What a sequence that was! Oh my goodness! There's Lionel Messi. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead and take the call, and I'll jump in.
Lionel Messi. Orlando Fernandez. And Messi gets tripped. And now a commotion happens here. But the only thing that we're missing here is if this is hockey, punches will be thrown for sure. But there's none of that. That's going to be red cards in football. We have our first yellow assessed. We have to get a number on who it is for. But I think yellow cards are going to be assessed to several players here in the mix of this commotion. One's a BXC in it, Elliot Anderson's in it, and more.
Elliot Anderson, that's going to be your answer, Mr. Nava. He gets the late challenge in on Messi, and that's why I made you take that call, because he beat 3 players in midfield to try to make something happen, and now we'll see what he can do. But what a little magic there from Messi. He ends up drawing a yellow against the English.
Yeah, he flipped Harry Kane up and over, big and miss. Then Jet Spence runs over Messi. And then it's both Anderson and Jet Spence who double teamed him to hit him. And that looked like one of those double body checks that you see in hockey. Basically, that would be Paredes and Messi on this free kick. It is 0-0. Argentina did get the first goal of last game against Switzerland. They have given up the first goal against Egypt, scored the first goal against Cape Verde, the Cinderella story of this World Cup. Paredes shifts over to left, and this will be Messi. Will take it short for Paredes. Now it goes back for Messi. Messi will speed up. Messi, drive. Here's Enzo Fernandez! It goes over the crossbar! And he was alleging that there was an illegal touch.
It's not going to win it, Alec. It's going to go the other way. Messi's shot initially gets blocked. Pickford, I think he had a little danger in his eyes because toward the top left corner, it almost seemed destined for it. Had all sorts of power, just narrowly misses the crossbar.
Well, and as we're speaking to, there was not a handball.
Nope.
Enzo Fernandez was alleging for one, but there was not a handball on the way. Nobody touched it. John Stones had both hands on his back at the time of the shot as it went over the crossbar. First good shot for Argentina coming from Enzo.
Yeah, you said it right. Again, it's been pretty well played between both sides. Again, I think both back lines, it's the most thing I've been impressed about right now. Not really getting beat on any specific chance. They've had a lot of attention to detail. As you mentioned, you got all the top teams in the World Cup right now. They're certainly playing like it.
Here's Emiliano Martinez, here and back, as he takes care of this ball. He's running out some clock as he's wondering which way to go. Just make a move already. Don't go. The fans want to see some action. Don't go with the time wasting. Now he makes a move with a deep kick. It took about, 20 seconds for him to kick the ball away?
Yeah, at least for that, Alec. And we're not seeing any of the possession change hands on the defensive side like it did with almost those miscues between England and Norway that were almost disastrous.
Loose ball cleared away by Declan Rice to prevent a chance for who I believe was Noel Molina. This will be inbounded for Leandro Paredes, one of the two central midfielders for the Argentines, number 5 in navy blue. Now it's Molina. They'll go back for Romero. Now for Argentina, they've got a lot more goal scorers in this run. Lionel Messi leads the way with 8, which is tied of Kylian Mbappe for the most in this World Cup. Sent back for Julian Alvarez, who is one of several Argentina goal scorers. Lautaro Martinez is the only other Argentine with multiple goals in this World Cup. As it's moved around in the attacking third, as Argentina trying to find a lane. Good defense, but just the slightest space, which is freed up for Nicolas Tagliafico. Now is Lisandro over to Julian Alvarez. Julian is the starter, as Lautaro Martinez is waiting on the bench, perhaps in the second half minutes. Giuliano Simeone over back for Enzo Fernandez. And then back, this is Cristiano Romero. Paredes off ahead, take it slowly. Messi waits over to Enzo, and now it's Simeone. Enzo Fernandez, watched by Jude Bellingham. He can be dangerous defensively and offensively. Now it's Messi, intercepted as England will take this back. They won't go fast on this counterattack. Jude Bellingham has to wait. Lost the ball for a moment. Another yellow was assessed. Who's it going to be? I think it's going to be on Argentina.
Lisandro Martinez of Argentina, they got a little bit too handsy, and the referee immediately waved a yellow.
So we're already at the point, John, in which yellow cards are going to be assessed. That was the point made on the Fox Mundo side. So we're at this point already.
Yeah, we are. I said that in the open between how physical that was, but again, that was more of a hand grab in the jersey. That time was an automatic call. So 2 yellows on both sides. Got to be careful here.
So, and given the rivalry between England and Argentina, we can only wonder how many yellow cards are going to be assessed in this match. John Stones, with 3 minutes left until we reach stoppage time, going to Reece James, and getting denied was Morgan Rogers. His Tagliafico was there defensively. Argentina taking this back. They played excellent defensively. And honestly, both teams have played excellent defensively.
Yeah, they really have. Again, both teams had to be on their P's and Q's. We talked about the tackles and the crunches and the physicality. That's certainly going to hurt. And at least you're going to get a little bit of a break in the half. But I think the substitutions, when we get close to that 70th minute, that'll be something I keep my eye on, Al.
And speaking of defensive integrity, there's a steal from England, Cristiano Romero. The referees are not going to call foul on Romero. They're going to say all ball from Romero on Jude Bellingham. As we're almost 2 minutes left in this opening half, as Nicolas Tagliafico waits and sends this one up. Julian Alvarez over back for Lisandro. Second yellow for Elliot Anderson or Lisandro Martinez. They'll be sent off. That was the case for Brio Bolo as he got a second yellow for Switzerland against Argentina, getting sent off for a flop that he committed. Giuliano Simeone protecting the ball, but he touched it. It'll go to England.
We are going to get close here to the 44th minute. And we're still waiting for the game's first goal, but there's been a lot of action. I'll carry some of the stats here when we get a chance in our stoppage and the first half officially ends. There's been a lot to talk about.
Jed Spence, 25 in white from Kensington, Greater London. Handles this ball on the left side. He's the Tottenham Hotspur man. Harry Kane, the former Tottenham Hotspur man, looking for his first goal since the Mexico match, in which he scored a penalty kick. As England willed him over to Bellingham for the penalty kick, as Bellingham was on hat-trick watching that game. Last minute of regular time here in the first half before he headed to stoppage time, as Deadman went too far in this pass. He wanted to reach what I believe was Bellingham, and it's out. England keeps.
Sure do. Trying to make something happen here inside this final minute. And there could have been another contest here as this tackles and dangerous chances continue.
And another missed pass. This is Reece James, who was the intended man on the target, and just so by over his leg. So Tagliafico's going to inbound. Now they're wondering about what is, this took some time to get the ball up. And Tagliafico is going to survey and go deeper down the pitch. That's his contested. England ball. 4 of those tackles. That's not called. I thought there was going to be a foul there, John.
I did too. That's why I was holding my breath a little bit. We've had 18 fouls called here as we got 3 minutes of stoppage time.
Now another uncalled foul. And yet, the rough play just continues between these two. That's what makes this rivalry so angry and violent, to say the very least. 3 minutes of stoppage time. I apologize for the late announcement on this, as we're half a minute into stoppage time. So England with control of this ball, trying to get the game's first goal. Harry Kane to the right for Declan Rice, who was calling for the ball. He'll go for Reece James, pressured by Alexis McAllister. James goes back. John Stones is there, cleared out by Argentina. James to inbound. England will keep. What is a ball that was a wrong ball that was inbounded? That had to be cleared out first.
Seen a little bit of everything here, and again, we talked about some of the calls for what could be and what not be. Again, the refs, if they wanted to play that by the book, stoppage time, we know it's going to be physical. We might as well just let everything go unless it's absolutely egregious.
That's the case. It's Reece James. He'll go back. No room to maneuver up front. As they're mostly the feeling out process, which is continuing here in this scoreless bout. Morgan Rogers. One-on-one with Tagliafico. He'll go back and go for James. Over to Stones. Enjoying it the midfield third. Doesn't see a lane. He'll go back for Pickford, the Everton man, off the middle. Fans getting restless here. They want to see some goals. They've been starved of goals. Through the middle. And losing his footing was Bellingham. Offside anyway.
Yes, it was. And again, you talk about some of the lack of action on the shot board. Essentially, on the ESPN side, no saves for either netminder. That Dominic James service in the box did not count for anything. That's still what we're waiting for, but everything else has been bowling pins as more players will meet toward midfield eventually.
Oh, as we see it, the near side, Tagliafico gets away from 2 Englishmen. What just happened? Well, nothing just happened yet. As it's down the near side, Tagliafico brings it up and on the rush. And there's a trip on Enzo Fernandez. They'll just say that he lost his footing. It's down the near side. That's cleared away by Argentina. On the takedown is Julian Alvarez as Reece James can't get this one up. A foul is going to be called, and some of the Argentines are upset about it.
Yeah, they had it toward the right side of midfield, and there'll be one more service here before we get to the end of the first half.
So it's Elliot Anderson, 12-7 the fouls. Argentina 12, England 7 the foul count already. So it's 19 combined fouls between these two clubs. And in this long-standing rivalry, this header is cleared away. It's sailed over the crossbar. And the referee says that's all for the first half in this scoreless bout. In this next chapter, a rivalry is reawakened after 21 years. Now, last time they met was 2005. It doesn't come without warts, though, between Harry Kane and Lionel Messi. We know these two teams hate each other. It's nice to see this rivalry revived.
Alec, again, this is the second game I'm working with you as far as the World Cup, second game in general for me to take this all the way through with the commentary and play-by-play. I appreciate you taking the lead. I am, I won't say wonderstruck in comparison to the game from a few days ago between England and Norway when they just dominated possession, did the three lines. But the amount of tackles, honestly, the amount of clean tackles that we've seen, I think, has been pretty phenomenal. Again, two yellow cards. You got Martinez on defense for Argentina, Anderson in the midfield for England. But big chunks probably taken out of this team so far. That's what I mentioned about 5 minutes ago. When we get to the 70th minute, we'll see what happens as far as substitutions when that particularly will get around that time. Because you talk about duels won, battle for midfield possession, 27 for England, 26 for Argentina. Passing's been good, 224 for Argentina there. Possession, they favor about 55-45, but this has been contested. It's been physical. It's been ugly at times. And as you mentioned, two of the top goal scorers with each other. It's been fun.
I look at says he's having a monster performance in this game.
Yeah, he has. He's really enjoyed his time in midfield. You've had to have that. Again, I've been impressed by the back line of both teams not necessarily getting beat just yet. Again, Pickford, the one chance goes up high to the left side of the box for him. It's been fun. We'll see if we get anything in that second half. And right now, I saw the spread favorites were Argentina only by a half a goal. So they expected this one to be tight today.
It is. I want to switch over to back to the hockey side, and finally, after 2 weeks, Anthony Nava gets signed. He's picked up by the New Jersey Devils on a 2-year deal, and I had to wonder that even after a bounce back season, that people were still wanting to not take a risk on him. But he's getting his pay raise from $3 million to $4.75 million cap hit wise.
Let me say this honestly, as a Red Wings fan, you watched it a little bit in Pittsburgh, you watched it a little bit in Calgary. As long as Anthony Mantha has been healthy toward the back end of his career, not necessarily back end, but he's been away from his Red Wings time for quite a while now. He's actually been serviceable. The only thing for him has really been health.
Yeah, that's the only thing. He makes for a solid middle six winger, and
Yeah.
that fills in a void that was left behind when some need to fill in for Sonny Vega, and no trade protection either. That's a good signing by the Devils, so that you can fill in on the wing next to Jack Hughes. You can rotate him and Arseny Gritzik in the lineup. That's good. That's a good deal for the Devils.
I think Meta's honestly, as you said, the new GM. He's from the area. He loves the Devils, loves the team. I think moving on from Fitzgerald, that's already been the right call, considering you're trying to do some things on the fly while still being competitive alongside the Hughes brothers. I think he's going to do a good job over there, to be honest.
Yeah, he will. And I want to see him succeed here. I know Mantha wasn't on the Penguins' plans as he was a 1-year rental only, but nonetheless, that he should do well in New Jersey as the Devils are looking to have a bounce back season. So I wonder what the plan is in net for New Jersey.
Right now, you have Jake Allen certainly getting a chance to take the bulk of it, and then you still have Nico Dawes, correct? You have a back line and goaltending that essentially makes peanuts. They don't make any money.
Yes, and they're not one of the front runners to land Connor Hellebuck at the moment because Hellebuck is down to either Carolina or Buffalo in terms of trade destinations. Though he did say that, and he did say that, from what I've heard from David Pagnotta, even though I'm giving you another source, but he said he would be welcome to play for Buffalo. Which, if you want to tell me this years ago, you'd be out of your mind.
Yeah, that essentially happened in less than a span of 365 days. If we're being completely honest, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, but there will be a welcome upgrade in that for the Buffalo Sabres as Alex Tuck leaves for Washington, but they do have some intriguing prospects on the way, like Constant Malenius, who was a revelation in the
Yes.
playoffs.
He was a lot of fun to watch in the World Juniors, and he's extended his career early alongside with Buffalo. Again, it seems like they flipped that switch. I hope that they can keep that there. You know, they don't in the mix. You wanted to upgrade there from Alex Lyon. Connor Hellebuck certainly would be a upgrade for that. That is goes without saying, but to get a franchise netminder, considering what they've already done, if possible, would mean a lot. For Carolina, I'm not going to say no, but in terms of what I've already seen from Brandon Bussey, I would hate for him to lose his starting job, in all honesty, Alec.
That would be the case. I go to plan for Carolina's 1A, 1B between Bussy and Kochetkov before making a decision on who's going to be the starting netminder for the duration of the playoffs. But right now, as it stands, Bussy is the starter right now in Carolina. If we don't land Hellebuck, then then just go ahead and sign Alex Nikishin on a long-term deal of say
Right.
right around nice cap hits.
Nikishin, I also think about the potential services in the future for Red Wings defenseman Simon Edvinsson and whether or not that would turn into to make sure to have him money. I think Nikishin, and I'm not saying Hellebuck wouldn't be an upgrade. Brandon Bussey's already proven to you that he can win it alongside with that team. I don't think you put yourself in cap hell. I think you stick with the defenseman that has the future prospect and has more burn than Hellebuck does. I mean, again, Hellebuck could get you another Stanley Cup, but honestly, if you ask me at this point, considering what you've already won, I'd rather have Nikishin.
Yeah, you know what? I can stick with Nikishin for this season because of what he can grow into. That
Right.
This is one of the deepest defensive cores that we've seen all throughout the lineup, and it's one defense that we've seen in Carolina. Now, on the forward side, it does seem that Seth Jarvis is going to miss the first few months of the season. But if you were to ask me who's going to slot into the lineup in the absence of Seth Jarvis, my pick is going to be Bradley Nadeau. Because at this point, yes, Barry Kotkaniemi, he's a trade candidate, and he's going to be shipped out for a low return. He's excess goods at this point, and I would love to see Nadeau get a chance on this Carolina lineup, as he's our top prospect.
I think you said it absolutely right. That's probably where they're going to end up going. I know, and from this morning, my phone has been blowing up, not alongside with the Sharks and all that stuff too, alongside that work, but the news that broke alongside, if Alec hadn't already discussed, that Steve Yzerman is out as the general manager of the Detroit Red Wings. Again, it is the same opportunity that it was when Ken Holland was moved in terms of Steve Yzerman. What I mean by that, he essentially gets the soft landing to be the quote unquote advisor part of the GM under while still keeping respect to the legend. But the Yzer plan is no more.
I don't know how to feel about this about it at all, but I feel that the Yzer plan, it all fell apart completely after what we saw this season from what is being seen. That we thought that this was going to be a good hiring by the Red Wings when he first came to the team after having his success with Tampa Bay Lightning, but he can draft well. But man, free agency, less said about the better.
I think that's where I am too on my initial thoughts. Again, I'll break that down more in the free maybe the State of the Union at some point because I have to get MIHL stuff tied up in the league duties for myself with the Sharks and all the other teams now that have been added. So I have a lot to do alongside August, but I'll agree with Alec in terms of the intermediate because again, we talked about Ken Holland and nuclear wasteland. I said that for years. Eisman successfully cleaned that up. He's got the Griffins and the Red Wings to get back to be functional. And if you were to do things over again, I'm not going to sit in dismay about draft lottery luck or that or not because you still got Ward Sider and Lucas Raymond out of it. If you had to do that over again, you'd probably still take them. But that is where I draw the line too. Under free agency, you have the initial stopgap. If you ever saw the movie The Money Pit, you go into a very Nice looking house on the outside, but then you see the floorboards are missing. You got some cement damage, some leaks, and everything else underneath it. So what I mean by that is Andrew Kopp, some of the other guys in that bottom six, essentially where you have no scoring in that middle six, that was never successfully replaced. And that is where Eisman has kind of failed the team. It's not really kind of. You just didn't have any of that other scoring to push you there. Yes, the Atlantic is strong in terms of Montreal, Boston, Buffalo, Tampa, Ottawa made it. You had 5 spots all tied up in the Atlantic. In Detroit, you can make the argument now, and this is where the failure walks in. Of every other team that's in the Atlantic, and this is my initial thoughts, possibly the only team that they're better than is Toronto, and Toronto was the one that ended up giving Gavin McKenna and made all those other moves. No, they do not have first round draft picks moving forward, but that really is the only team I can think right now that Detroit could possibly finish ahead of. Its tenure, I think you have to consider that a failure.
There's just a lot going on. I just don't know.
Hey there, John. Reports. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually what I was going to ask you. Now, John, with the Dylan Larkin trade is still hanging over because he hasn't changed his mind, right?
Not right now. Once you bring up your point, I have a question for both of you very quickly.
All right. Well, here's what I was going to ask you. With the new GM hire coming in, do you think this could spark a fire sale?
I do. I think the Red Wings are closer to that than any sort of rebuild. They haven't even successfully rebuilt out of their rebuild. So, yes, I agree with you there. Again, it's only room. Those other guys that we talked about in the podcast that Alec mentioned briefly. But Dallas, whether they move on from Jason Robertson, again, we heard the Pittsburgh situations, whether or not that's true. But let's say this, because from what I initially saw in the rumors, and again, it's only speculation at this point, it was Dylan Larkin and DeBrincat for Robertson and other stuff. Then you're telling me at that point, gentlemen, I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but that's 70 goals plus out of the Red Wings lineup. Yeah, you get Robertson back, but that doesn't make you better.
No, and to be honest, John, if you're gonna trade Larkin and someone else, instead of going for the one guy, because I hate to say it, but unless the CM still finds a way to keep Larkin and the young core, it looks like the Red Wings are going to have to start over again, in which case, buy in bulk.
Picks in bulk. Again, I said it from 1 year from now, if the Red Wings don't make the playoffs, and it certainly doesn't seem like they're going to, then I'm going to go all fire and brimstone on the show. I won't change that. I know the direction of the franchise might try to change some of that narrative, but from everything Cooper alongside at some points too. I'll have a lot to say about it. Again, we gave our initial thoughts. I think we've kept it brief and timely as we will head into the second half of this game, but I don't feel very good as far as either direction going forward or what happened. There's still a lot of questions to be answered.
But yeah, see how this goes. So I would say it's ironic that we're seeing a brighter future ahead for the Pistons, in all honesty, even with the Jalen Duren saga.
You're right, Alec. Again, if you asked me between the 4 major pro franchises, I wouldn't have thought. I would have thought at this point, again, we're getting closer to 2028 than not. I was thinking in that timeline that the Red Wings would be a second round team exit at worst. They're not close to that right now. And I guess the only thing I've had over the last 15 years is collegiate sports. I think Jim Harbaugh and amongst the sanctions, and maybe Dusty May, but honestly, that Dusty May one I still haven't recovered from. It's like playing Street Fighter 2 and then you get the KO and it goes in slow motion. That's what I feel like right now.
Man, I just don't get why the Mavericks fired Jason Kidd in the first place.
Yeah, we'll see how that ends up working out either. But again, I wish everyone else success. I'm still waiting for mine patiently. I'm glad that Alec got his as far as the Stanley Cup. I'm glad that the Royals, in not too long of recent history, won a World Series. I'm in pain over here.
And so, no, but like, I'm gonna rant a little bit because what are the baseball gods' priorities? Why is it that they are punishing the Royals and the Tigers when it should be the Twins that are in the depths of despair for trading 90% of their team last season or 2 seasons ago, whenever it was? No, last season.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? At the very least, the Pirates are making it interesting.
Yeah, and Alec has that too. So we are going to get set here. I know Alec will be about 30 seconds behind as far as where I'm in, but possession for the second half that England will start with. Again, the jerseys in white will be going right to left. Argentina and their blues from left to right. It was very physical, and we'll see what we get out in front of it again in the second half. Do you think we're going to get a goal here, or are we going to need to go to extra time?
I hope we get a goal, but if we do get back-to-back games with extra time, while we have goals, we're in for a treat again, John.
And we certainly are. That first game on that Saturday was fun to cover with you, and I'm really enjoying this one. It feels a little bit different. Again, the lack of goal scoring that we've talked about, but the physicality in these challenges, it's been something to watch. Whoever says soccer isn't a physical game, you watch this one and you'd be completely wrong.
It's always been physical throughout its history. It's all football or soccer, however you call it. It's been a physical sport throughout its history. It's weird. It's our false start on the start of play, so we'll do this kickoff again.
Yeah, for Pickford, it was a little bit of a stare down I thought I saw for about 20 seconds just to make things interesting and make sure the pilot light was still on from the first half.
All right, now the referee says yes, you can go. So here we go for the second half. Jordan Pickford. The routine that England usually does here is that they would send it all the way back from the center of the pitch to the goal, so as to get a deep kick from the goalkeeper, so as to get a quick strike going here. They would like to strike early, but here's Julian Alvarez on the way back. Doesn't have room on the left because he's surrounded. Drop this back. We're in the first minute of play here in the second half. Argentina in the navy blue from left to right. England in the white going from right to left. Those are uniform combos. Alec, Nava, John On, Ian Genty on board you. And there's Lisandro Martinez. And right around the midway point of this game, you can expect the first substitutions, maybe even 1/3 the way through if one of these managers wants to get the early substitutions here. Knowing that, of course, you have to account for extra time and you can conserve energy from the normal starters like Nico O'Reilly, Ezri Konsa, for the matter. For England, Argentina will be thinking about Lautaro Martinez as one of the players coming off the bench, and Rodrigo De Paul as another one, as this will be brought back all the way for Martinez, that is. That's his nickname, Eagle, for wings. Yes, Lisandro Martinez to the left, and on the right is another nickname player, Cookie Romero, Cristian Romero, as it'll be Eagle, who sent the deep. And there's a bunch of nothing, but here's a steal! Julian Alvarez! Alvarez! Was stopped by Jordan Pickford! The first dangerous chance of the second half of Argentina, and he's not done look yet! Alvarez! Off the outside of the cage!
It's going to belong to Argentina. They're going to get a corner here. Messi going to get set to take it.
Oh my goodness, Julian Alvarez. We talk about the energy guys, John. This is exactly what Argentina wanted from the energy guy. Julian certainly brought it here early.
It's a good miss inside the right side of the box. And then Argentina now, at least in this portion, to start the second half, the physicality when the first few minutes have gone by the wayside, they're trying to get things going offensively.
So the referee has gone the way and not getting this started up as Messi will take this to the far side. He'll get it back on the right. Messi across towards the box is carried away. It won't be held by Lisandro Martinez. and brought back up by Anthony Gould. Argentina takes it back. Will this be offside? Is the question. Lionel Messi going one-on-one. He spent it on physically. And right at the goal line, Jude Bellingham says, "You're not entering this box."
No, that was kind of like a body drop in toward the right side of the line. Messi got hit hard. Again, just the 4 shot attempts, 1 on target for Argentina. England's only got 1 with none on target here. So Argentina's had the better of play and throughout the offensive chances at the very least right now.
It's been mostly a physical match, and referee Ismail Elfroff rather okay for this moment. There were some missed calls. Though we do think that the yellow cards were definitely warranted. We're at the point still about yellow cards. The physicality certainly has not stopped, as evidenced by the Jude Bellingham tackle. And here is Jordan Pickford. Left boot. This deep towards the left side. He wanted to go for Jed Spence. And it's Anthony Gordon. Take it up. After this contested ball, Argentina sends it away for one moment. And now here's Spence. England wanted to attack quickly. Spence going down low, starting pass. No one's there. Argentina will force a throw.
A little bit of a pressure there, and alongside almost a missed tackle will give England possession.
It'll be Spence to inbound it. A little bit of a miss there from Argentina, but they saw that Spence was coming in down deep along the near sideline with speed. As Giuliano Simone is watching the inbound. Want to go to Jude Bellingham. This Lascalaventa played it nicely. Not for long, though, as Gordon head pockets Lascalaventa. They'll continue on with possession as Stones finds Gay on the left center back side. He'll step up. Stones is calling for it. He'll go to Harry Kane. Kane to the right. James will drop it off for Morgan Rogers. Rogers goes 1-on-2 with Tagliafico and McAllister. Rogers' centering pass was knocked away by Lisandro Martinez. And it's a good read by Lisandro to get this out, but it's just kept in. Bodies fall down here, and that's going to be, he said, we'll play along here. Oh my goodness, England almost threw the ball away for a surefire goal.
Yeah, how did they escape the double there, Argentina? That was crazy.
And just right after Lisandro Martinez put it away, long pass, going to be settled down for Giuliano Simone. Jed Spence got it out. Bodies fall down here. Jude Bellingham, careful! You don't want to make a WWE move. Ismail Elfrost, make sure to issue a yellow card for that attempt alone.
Jude Bellingham, for the 3rd time, is drawing a challenge. This time a yellow goes his way as Christian Romero of Argentina picks up a yellow card.
Come on, this is football, not WWE wrestling, Romero. You gotta know the rules of this sport.
Honestly, Bellingham's done a great job in this game, Alec, making challenges on the other side and pushing with his pace. He's been pretty strong for England.
He is. He's one tough fellow to keep track of. The Real Madrid man is the Barcelona man, Anthony Gordon. Natural rivals Barcelona and Real Madrid, known for El Clásico, because those are the 2 most prestigious teams in La Liga. Lionel Messi used to play for Barcelona. And Lamine Yamal, the current generation and the future generation at the same time of Barcelona and Spain. And Rodri captaining that team to the World Cup final, Spain's first since they won it in 2010, when they were led by Andres, who is the face of the Spanish national team. Simon stole it away, but a foul was called on Simon.
I'll say this honestly because I'm seeing this on the ESPN side for main referee that we're seeing the camera shots on for Ismail Elfath. I think he's done a great job, Alec. And considering how physical this game has been, I think he's been more than fair for all these players, because if he wanted to issue more than 3 yellow cards, he probably could have by now.
Yeah, that was 50-50 between Simon and Spence. They ruled that Spence had the initial contact on Simon, and Simon followed up, smack him in the face. Sometimes you wonder where double fouls are going to be he called at some point, but I wonder if that's a rule in football. Here is Julian Alvarez. He's surrounded. He'll give it to the left side for Tagliafico. He'll drop it back. McAllister to the right is Nahuel Molina. Molina to the right, Simeon. Simeon on the drop, Messi. We'll move it to the middle. Enzo Fernandez. On the right side for Giuliano Simon. The only Argentine not from Argentina, as he was born in Italy, but he's Argentine through his father, who played overseas at the time in which Giuliano was born in Italy. That is because his father was playing in the Serie A. Enzo Fernandez to the right side for Simeon. To Leandro Paredes. Paredes to the box. Too far for Tagliafico.
I'm not seeing anything there for Paredes. We'll see if England can counter off of this possession.
Yep, so we'll see a counter here for the English. We'll see if we see another Jude Bellingham goal, or if one of the others can find it back in the net. We haven't seen anyone on the English team find the back of the net outside of Kane or Bellingham since Marcus Rashford did it against Croatia. The last game that Rashford played was against the Democratic Republic of the Congo. As this will be a deep pass, as this is cleared away for the moment and picked up by the English. Here's Morgan Rogers. Taylor's trying to the box. They score! Anthony Gordon!
Unbelievable service into the box and off the one-on-one. Anthony Gordon finishes it. We'll take a look at it now. It's a one touch off the left foot. No chance. What a beautiful pass.
And guess who set it up? None other than Morgan Rogers, who was inserted
Yes.
into the Norway match as he impressed Thomas Tuchel and company. England looking for their first 1966 when they were the hosts. A failed clear by Nicolas Tagliafico conveniently ended up right on the boot of Declan Rice. And Morgan Rogers set it up right across as Gordon was onside at the time of the pass. So, and it's 1-0 England. The Three Lions roaring here at Atlanta.
That's fun, Alec, because I was going to ask you, and before that goal, maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes, it looked like Argentina was starting to press, finally walk their way offensively into this game. You get a missed kick by Paredes on one end, a long pass, a service in the box from Rogers, and it's finished off as Anderson scores on that left foot. That's a beautiful goal and a great sequence for the Three Lions.
That's what I mentioned, that this is the first goal from a player not named Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham since Marcus Rashford against Croatia. It is 1-0 England. And among the last few major tournaments involving England, they faced off against Spain in the U20 in their last few major tournament finals, in which it was the U21 Men's Euro Final 2023, Women's World Cup Final 2023, UEFA Euro 2024 on the men's side, UEFA Euro Women's 2025, and Nations League Final Men's 2025. That was Spain and England. If this result holds, it will be Spain and England again in the World Cup final. Now here's England again. Harry Kane lost it, and in Argentina wanted to strike back here. And that goal, John, they have given England life. But for how much longer? Here's the 2-1. Giuliano Simon, the chance. Simon! He was knocked on the ball. Oh, ball from Jet Smith. What a tackle!
Unbelievable toward the right side of the box on a one-on-one, and all day with a chance to set it up. Spence comes flying out of nowhere to get the contest. It's still a corner to deal with, but unbelievable work there for Spence. Some of these reserves that we talked about in our last game between Norway get the start today, and they're playing unbelievable.
Jet Spence came in late in the last match, filling in for Nico O'Reilly. He's been unbelievable in this fight. One of the two fullbacks from Tottenham Hotspur playing everyday role on their team. They're being Pedro Pro in Spain, as this was knocked away by Harry Kane. It'll be an inbound for Argentina. Oh, you cannot love that clearance from Jet Spence enough.
No, they're playing the right way. And again, I'm just enthralled by how it's been so different between Norway and possession. And now you have a chance to try to fight off Argentina, who you know are going to be pressing as this game will continue to get longer in the tooth, probably toward the 75th minute. They played defense outstandingly as they needed to right now.
This England team kind of reminds me of when Thomas Tuchel managed Chelsea in the past. They may not have the best players on the pitch, but they play a structure, a disciplined structure that prioritizes defense. Jordan Pickford, well, he tried to hunt down that ball. It was too far. That's it. This centering feed. Yeah, we're looking at the replay again from Morgan Rogers to Anthony Gordon. A beautiful right leg on the ball. Wow.
You're going to have some stuff in front of you, and then I'll jump in. This defense is starting to get pressed a little bit wide.
And yeah, England is getting tested here on the defensive side. Argentina trying to hurry up the English. Jet Spence in some trouble. Giuliano Simone giving it for Lionel Messi. Messi shakes up one man. He stays with the ball. It's cleared up by England, but it's kept in by the Argentines. Leandro Paredes on the left side. It's Argentina trying to tie this game up into the box. England trying to get this one out, and it will. It'll be kept by the Argentines. Harry Kane had to get that out because he was in trouble.
Well, we talked about this a couple minutes ago that you want to make sure you keep your defensive shape. Argentina starting to press that a little bit toward the back end lines of England. They were not able to clear deep, and now they're getting possession dangerously toward the penalty area.
Nascalareta knows they're down 1-0, and here's Simon. That pass was too far carried away. Tagliafico will pick it up along the left side. He'll set it up again. Lisandro, over and back over to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, he'll wait over to Molina. Now Molina over and back over to Romero. To the left side. Waiting is Paredes and then Lisandro. England trying to hurry up the Argentine defense. The center backs as Simeone. He's going to look. He'll head back for Romero. He'll take his time with it. Nobody is entering the box right now for the Argentines. Somebody is over and back here. That's Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez tries one. It's over the crossbar. He tried one from further out compared to his first try.
Yeah, he did, Alec. And you think if you're the three lions, you take that correct because Argentina starting to put the vice grips down in possession and getting things close. You'll take those long shots more so than any of those other services in the box.
And any day, you'll take that any day of the week if you're the three lions. We're getting a replay from VAR. Yes, that was onside. It was clear as day onside from Anthony Gordon, Argentina. Same title defense on the line here. They have less than 29 minutes to make up for it. Might you tie this game up at one apiece along the far side for Nicolas Tagliafico, number 3. He'll head back for Leandro Paredes. We have yet to see a substitute from either side. No, Didier Deschamps had to use his substitutes much earlier than he wanted to because of a back injury to William Saliba in the game against Spain. Here is Lionel Messi. Where will he go? Up front, trying to speed down through. He'll get it back. Nice touch. And it's fed back for Enzo Fernandez as the space closed up. Tagliafico going back for Lisandro. Calling for his Molina, but it will go back for Lisandro Martinez. Up front again. Julian. Backing up for Leandro Paredes. Messi. One touch for McAllister that was cleared away. Molina sails it down. The pace of the game is slowed down here. No rough play in this second half compared to what we saw from the first half from those shoving matches. But more focused on the game now as Messi sets up for McAllister. Molina. Now Molina. Still looking. Nobody's hitting the box. As everybody wanting to stay onside here. Behind the last line defense. Messi got ahead. As this is down for Julian Alvarez, who is in trouble. Good clear by Reece James to get this one out. And still this English defense maintaining their form.
I think it's a little bit too early. I'm going to say this now for England. I'm not going to say park the bus just yet because we know what that means. A lot of possession here for Argentina, though. Don't want to have too much more of that if you're England. Don't want to play defense the whole entire time because these 1, 2, 3 passes that are getting close to the penalty area are starting to connect with precision. And it feels like Argentina is starting to awaken a little bit, Alec.
Yeah, they are. It's too early for park the bus time, as you said, Johnson. If you're Argentina, you have to continue attacking down outside the box. You have to make sure that you get behind the last line defense, get through the last line defense when you can, but in a position where you are not offside. Where will this go? It will be Argentina's ball, Bolina. Quick him out intended for Simeone, and this was offside. I would think yes.
I know this will be ahead of you here, but I'll just mention it now. Nico Gonzalez going to come in the forward. Leandro Paredes, who we just talked about, almost had a misplay a few minutes ago. He'll be the first sub out.
Yeah, Nico Gonzalez takes the place of Leandro Paredes. So this could shift up the formation because Gonzalez, from what we're seeing, is a forward on the Argentine team. He usually plays on the wings. So we would see Lionel Messi on the right side. And could we see Argentina tweak up the formation to be the 4-3-3 if we're seeing Gonzalez enter in as a forward? Because they
That's what I'm thinking, Alec. Again, I'm new to the formations and all, but the extra third attacker up there, knowing that you need a goal and trying to get immediate services into the box, that's what I would say. It gives Lionel Messi something else to work with.
This will be Enzo Fernandez leaving it to the left side for Lisandro Martinez, who scored his first career World Cup goal earlier in this knockout. Messi, bring this up towards the box. The header goes through. It's up for grabs. It's Declan Rice when they try to clear this out. Goal kick. Last touch was from Argentina, so Jordan Pickford will get a chance to clear. And Nico Gonzalez, in his first action, was hunting down the ball with the header.
That was a good call by Mr. Nava because you just mentioned that when the chance for the substitution and immediately coming off the bench with a chance to be able to touch the ball and get a scoring chance.
Immediately, that's the impact that a fresh substitute would have on his team. Anthony Gordon, the only goal in this game, the Barcelona man at 55 minutes, as this is headed away by the English, but Argentina will get this into the defensive third of the English side. Mark getting in trouble, he braces up for the dangerous Jude Bellingham, the Real Madrid man. Jet Spence, back for Elliot Anderson, or excuse me, Harry Kane. Deep and the time that he's provided. Over back here, Declan Rice! Stopped by Eddie Martinez.
And he's going to elect for a quick throw in here that might bite a little bit.
Here is Rice on the counter, just as Argentina coughed up possession. Not a lot of mustard on that second try, and it'll be an easy pickup for Martinez again. And he'll blow this over to the left side. Sometimes goalkeepers do that. But Nicolas Tagliafico was tied up, and a foul was called.
You talk about the counterattack in terms of what we saw on Saturday. Really just the one off the one pass to be able to set that up for England. And then the counterattack there almost makes something happen for the three lions.
Lionel Messi, down the middle. Checks off one man. Takes it towards the left side. No shot. He elected to feed it back for Messi, but there was a man away. This goes behind the goal line. And I don't think that there will be a corner kick out as yes, there will be, and a substitute.
Now we're going to get that Lionel Messi one more time for service here off this corner as Argentina looks to tie it inside the 67th minute.
Question is if they go short or if they go long. And the only substitution to speak of was Nico Gonzalez replacing Leandro Paredes. I don't think the substitution this time is going to come from the English side. We'll see who's going to be here. As Messi will up for it across this side for the header. Argentina is dangerous in set pieces. This time England gets the upper hand on it. As Cristiano Romero plays it to the left side. Argentina trying to search for a tying goal. Juliano's Simeone. Off ahead, this is Tagliafico. Played out by Elliot Anderson. It's another corner.
Yes, it was. And again, he's already on the yellow card watch there. And Anderson, he's got to be careful. That was good defending.
Yeah, he had to because he bumped Nicolas Tagliafico. Any more contact there, and that would have been a penalty kick. As was the case with Lamine Yamal, drew a penalty kick when Lucas Digne did not see him coming down the left side. As Messi centers it up, is loose. It's held down by Molina. He'll get this back. Now, Molina along the right side for Messi. Messi up front. Jordan Pickford the stop. Big save there. And someone else falls down. Pickford getting a hero's welcome. That's Sir Jordan Pickford to you.
An excellent save there inside the 69th minute as he gets it with the right hand. That was certainly going to go in, and that will lead us into the hydration break. England trying to hold on here to a lead.
It is 1-0, and Pickford has been the man to watch. He's joining Lamine Yamal and company in the blue and in the red over Camp Nou. But England has had the upper hand on this game throughout the match. So far, just 3 yellow cards, which say that's not more given that storied rivalry between them. But that's the yellow. English have had their way with the Argentines, yet the Argentines have shown a sense of desperation and the urgency.
Yes, they have. England scores one of those. They could have had two. You had 3 corner kicks in the last 5 minutes for Argentina. Pickford comes up big as we head into the hydration break. But I'll just say this, as we head into the 70th minute, again, I'll punch the button. I don't think England's going to be able to hold the whole entire time playing defense this way. We'll see if they can. That would certainly be a hell of a statement because for as good as Spain is, if you're able to defend this way against Argentina, then England's certainly good enough to win the entire thing. But they're really going to be in dire straits if they got to play defense again for a whole 25 minutes plus. It's got to go the other way at least a little bit.
Yep, so as it stands, we could be looking at a rematch of the UEFA Euro 2 years ago when Mikel Oyarzabal had the winning goal against England in the late stage of the game. Cole Palmer, who was not on this roster, had the only goal for the English, but the best chance came for Argentina came on that Lionel Messi cross, in which it was headed. I can't get a number, but an amazing reactionary save by Sir Jordan Pickford. They would love to get to the World Cup for the first time in this era of the English national team. David Beckham and Wayne Rooney never made it to the World Cup final, more amazing as their careers are, alongside Michael Owen.
And that says a lot because I remember watching him a little bit again. It's not the first time I've ever watched soccer. Again, you're covering everything across for full games. Yes. Konsa now will get set to come in. So Gordon scores the goal, and he is now out for Konsa as they get more defensive substitutions here for England.
So that's 5 defenders on the backfield for the English team. So Anthony Gordon, who just scored, he's going to exit out to a hero's welcome. The watch parties are packed over in England. It is nighttime over there. As it stands, it's 9:33 British summer time. But Ezri Konsa is going to sub in. He was one of the starters last game for the English as he was the right wing back. He usually plays right center back.
So Alec just mentioned it, the 5 defenders. Again, you got some substitutions for Argentina. Going to get set to come in.
Rodrigo De Paul, who is coming off the bench for Giuliano Simeone. He is coming in alongside Gonzalo Montiel and Nicolas Otamendi, who is part of the old guard on Argentina. Otamendi, at 38 years old, could likely be his final World Cup appearance.
It'll be something to watch. Again, we talked about it as we were getting closer to the 75th minute, about to enter the 73rd. There's been wholesale changes here. Argentina still needs one more goal to tie. And right now, as it sits, Anthony Gordon with the goal, Morgan Rogers with the assist off the beautiful counter, as England is trying to continue to hold on here.
So as it stands for the Argentines, it's 3 substitutions. Montiel takes the place of Nava Molina. Rodrigo De Paul replacing Simeone, and Otamendi replacing Lisandro Martinez. And the one key substitution we're going to have to watch out for is Lautaro Martinez, who's a forward, In all likelihood, he could be the one replacing Julian Alvarez if things get dire late in the game. As Julian Alvarez plays for Atletico Madrid, Lautaro Martinez plays for Inter Milan. So they did face off against one another in the Champions League final. That's when Alvarez played for Manchester City. But it's tightly contested for possession between these two. And it was not going down without some defensive intensity, which they have been known under Thomas Tuchel.
If England holds on to win this game, would you be shocked, Alec?
I wouldn't, because
Okay.
between these two, they're both evenly matched between one another, but I like Argentina's chances just as much as I like England's chance of winning. And quite frankly, England, based on defense, will be good here. As Julian Alvarez goes out Montiel, excuse me, this header doesn't go. England stacked the box up nicely.
That's what they have to do to stop that cross little back heel pass service into the penalty area. Goes wide of Pickford.
Back up is Gonzalo Montiel. Julian Alvarez, the number 4, number 9, kind of looks similar from these jerseys. Rodrigo de Paul off the bench will pick this up to Romero and Otamendi. Tagliafico, the two Nicolases along the left side. Back over to Montiel, who scored the winning penalty kick for Argentina to clinch them their first World Cup title since 1986. Nico Gonzalez all the way back for Otamendi. All the way back for Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez to the right for Montiel. Gonzalo Montiel to Lionel Messi. Messi to Fernandez. Fernandez all the way back for Otamendi. Still some juice left in him at 38 years old. No longer the starting lineup now as a substitute to Lisandro Martinez. As the ball sends it up to the box. Save and the rebound is cleared. It's on the box for the moment. As this will be the Argentines with possession of the ball with 75 minutes removed in this game. Jordan Pickford of another excellent stop.
Yeah.
Montiel will try again. This header goes up. As Rogers is in the area, Bellingham clears it out. Argentina will take their sweet time with this ball. Sensing the urgency here, and they need to score. Up ahead is Julian Alvarez, the Atletico Madrid man, who says to Rodrigo de Paul. Messi's teammate at Inter Miami. Montiel. De Paul sends it towards the box. The header. Another save by Pickford. He will cover up, sensing danger from Enzo Fernandez.
And he's been unstoppable because that service from DePaul in the box left side was wide open for a header, just unbelievably open. And Pickford stands tall, covers the middle of the net, makes a save, and holds on and gets the clear. He's been outstanding.
Oh, yeah, John. You can't say enough about him. I know his reputation has been 50-50 among the English fans, but here he showed why he's the number 1 for England. And if the English hold on here, he's the man to match.
Absolutely. Right now, Argentina probably should have a couple of goals the way that they've been pressing in this second half. They made the right substitutions.
Oh, yes, they have. The right substitutions. De Paul, Otamendi, Montiel. That sparked a new sense of life for La Scaloneta. Dribbled over to Montiel along the right forward side. De Paul, back over to Enzo Fernandez. He's going to wait and shift over left. Lionel Messi receives it. He'll send this over towards the box. A header! Oh, this just went wide! Yeah, Pickford beat. Gonzalez did.
Yeah, Nico Gonzalez, he had him beat, and then the flag comes up for offsides. He's a half a stride off, misses the net. That was awfully close again as Argentina continues to buzz, and now they're trying to counter here with a through ball.
A double whammy there for Nico Gonzalez. The flag was up to Jordan Pickford, who gets my vote so far for man to match here on the day here at Atlanta Stadium. He sends this deep. And waiting there was Harry Kane. And he would love to get to the World Cup final. He made it to the UEFA Euro final under previous manager Gareth Southgate. But now under Thomas Tuchel, this team is taking the next step. So, and of course, many so shocked over the omission of Cole Palmer from the lineup, just as Edwin Konza clears this one away. This will be played by Gonzalez on the inbound. So, of course, people are wondering about Phil Foden, Trent Alexander-Arnold. They feel defensive reputation's not really there for the both of them, as Foden's stock has taken a hit over the last few years. Jude Bellingham with an outstanding steal, as he's on the counter with guess who? Harry Kane. Bellingham will take himself notice more than Rodgers. Excuse me there. But it was Bellingham who created that chance to go all the way back for Elliot Anderson, who should arrive to Manchester City in August when the Premier League season starts. Rodrigo with the ball on the steal back along the middle third for the Argentines. And on the left side, it is Tagliafico. Nicolas Tagliafico. Staring down Nico Gonzalez instead the first. To another option. Enzo Fernandez. Taking it slowly to the right side for Lionel Messi. Gonzalo Montiel. Back for Messi. Messi over and back. Enzo waits. Messi will get this to the left side for Tagliafico. Back for Fernandez, and now it's Messi. Lionel Messi. To the left side. Otamendi defers it back. Tagliafico to Messi. Messi doesn't pass it. Harry Kane's on him. Messi shifts right. He'll defer towards the right side. Error pass. It's going to be a chase down. Long reception for Enzo Fernandez, who has nowhere to go. And oh man, you just can't say enough about the English defense here.
They're holding as much as they can, Alec. It's honestly very courageous because I didn't think now with the 5 defenders you mentioned with Konza, be able to hold at least for an entire half doing this, or if not for 30 minutes, but they're doing their best.
Montiel sets up the ball. The ball runs out of room to maneuver. Enzo Fernandez doesn't try for long range this time. Instead, wants to go to a danger area. Messi pounded down by 3 Elias. Here's Tagliafico towards the box. It's loose there. Icicle. They didn't get much of that. Argentina trying to keep, but they committed offensive foul, and this will be along with England's Harry Kane. Took a beating.
Yeah, he did. It was one of the first big shots that he took. He took about 4 of those against Norway. Tagliafico is going to move off the pitch, and as Alec mentioned, Lautaro Martinez, number 22, will be one last substitution for Argentina. They'll take it in the 81st minute.
It's not Julian Alvarez, but it's Nicolas Tagliafico getting subbed off. So a change in formation for Lionel Scaloni, who initially went 4-4-2, and Reece James is getting looked at by the referees for potential injury. We'll have to see his status. He did get shoved by Julian Alvarez in front, so double whammy.
I'm looking at Nico Riley on the side, whether or not he's going to come in, or Byrne. We'll try to see if there's going to be another substitution. Looks like Dan Byrne. Remember, he got that late burn in toward the end when he won a big physical header, and we'll get another substitution. Looks like Reece James will also come off the pitch from what I'm seeing.
As an injury precaution, James is going to get subbed out, and Nico O'Reilly is going to come into the pitch. Dan Byrne is the other defensive substitution for Thomas Tuchel. And for Lionel Scaloni, there have to be answers to be had here. So coming up is Reece James. We'll see who the other substitution is, who's going to come out for England as Byrne comes in for James. And it's going to be Declan Rice getting subbed out. Nico O'Reilly in his place.
So now I would imagine with stoppage time or anything else, we probably got about 10 minutes left as we're entering the 82nd minute. Who does this favor now? Because we've been talking about Argentina's press and how close that they've been with some of these services and headers in the box. You had some chances there for Nico Gonzalez to come close. Lionel Messi with some magic. Argentina's been known to score some late goals. We'll see if England holds.
They did it against Egypt and Switzerland. Can they do it again here? As was the same case against Cape Verde. They did neither heroics in the first 3 rounds to advance. They are relying on late game heroics to tie this game up and force extra time in all likelihood. The question is, can they penetrate Thomas Tuchel's defense, which has been one of the best in this World Cup? It goes across for Lionel Messi. And waiting is Rodrigo de Paul. Up and across. Here it is. Held down by Enzo Fernandez. Along the left side, back for Fernandez. Oh, wait. Fernandez heads back for De Paul. Rodrigo de Paul. His shot's blocked. That was Nico O'Reilly, who can play both left wing back and midfielder. He's listed as a midfielder in this game. He normally plays the left fullback position, not the left wing back, as those units rely on Anthony Gordon. As Dan Burn is the left fullback for the English. Rodrigo de Paul waits. Up ahead, Messi. Messi towards the box. He missed everybody.
That curled a little bit wide there, but you just talk about Nico O'Reilly. That was a great block with the foot. Then he goes and chases it down and burns about a crucial minute off of Argentina's attack. That is all-out defensive effort. Gotta love that.
Of course, defensive effort closing up everybody in the box. Once again, it's Pickford to clear this one away. The last touch belongs. The ball belongs to Argentina, and well, I don't know what we're seeing here, but what I do know is that Michael Harris, the outfielder for the Atlanta Braves, is in attendance, and he got a new fan from the English, and he's returning the favor. He's supporting the English national team to realize, long shot, oh, Jordan Pickford to stop the screamer from Enzo Fernandez. He's not shying away from those.
No, and he had to. Could hit crossbar, maybe, maybe not. We'll see if Argentina gets yet another chance out of this. They're looking to equalize.
This is sent in. It's the ball sent back for Messi. Messi surveys, heads back over to Enzo Fernandez. He'll try again. Goal! Light game heroics for Argentina. They will not go away.
We'll see how this one dictates from the left side of the box. A beautiful shot. Enzo Fernandez is unmarked. It's a late sliding tackle attempt that does not get converted. I wonder that was Bellingham there that tried to stop it. No chance for Pickford. He has been an absolute hero. That was a bomb of a curl of a shot, and Enzo ties it. My goodness, it's 1-1.
That's the fourth long screamer that he's tried all game long, John. And the patience does pay off. The third time may not have been a charm, but the fourth time is. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, and you just said, I'd mentioned this, Argentina pressing as much. Again, for those that are even new like myself, you could just sense it coming here for Argentina. England cannot play defense just like that the entire time. And now we can say this, Alec, all the substitutions that they've made, you're already going to put even more pressure on Bellingham Kane now to try to finish this off because you went for the defensive intensity and try to hold, and now you're going to have to try to find an attack.
Oh, man. Now England's going to have to know where their next source of attack is going to come from here. And we know Michael Harris is in attendance. Giannis Antetokounmpo's in attendance in this game.
Yeah, well, I thought I saw Giannis in the glasses.
Yep, he'll wear number 7 for the Miami Heat. And that's the jersey number Rodrigo de Paul wears for the Argentines. He does play with Messi at Inter Miami. So there'll be a lot of entertainment for Giannis to have around the Heat, the Florida Panthers, maybe even the Miami Marlins, who are surprisingly chasing the wild card berth, and the Argentine side of the crowd is alive and well here. Late game heroics. And we know that it's going to be one of the top end players or one of the supporting cast members who'll find it back in the net. As England clears out, Argentina trying to go ahead here and steal the victory from the Free Lions and a potential date with destiny, possibly for Lionel Messi up against the boy he baptized in his early career at Barcelona, Lamine Yamal.
We're going to get a little bit of a situation in front of us here as we're getting closer and closer to extra time with another service pass in the box. Looks like an England player is down.
Here is Lionel Messi. He'll set this one up. It's cleared
trying to get a number on there. Looks like maybe John Stones is the one that needs some help here.
The deliberations between Ismail Elfroth and the Argentines in English is Rodrigo de Paul trying to plead his case in front of Elfroth. Well, the medical staff is out there to assist John Stones. Remember, they had to sub out one of the English for injury precautions. That was, I would believe, earlier in this game that took place in the 81st minute, the 72nd minute, in which that was early, in which Reece James had to be subbed off because of the injury precautions.
We're going to get some of those camera shots here as they're still looking at John Stones in the back line for England. Hope that he's okay. They're trying to probably check for concussions from when they're moving his head around here. But as I said, in between all the substitutions, and Alec brought it out too, it was defensive intensity for England as they're trying to hold this. Now you kind of wonder if they get the extra time. Argentina, you think you already have the advantage there with all the offensive presses. Again, you would get two 15-minute halves no matter what, should we get to that point. But I'm just wondering who's going to be the hero here for England, because it couldn't be Pickford the entire time. He did about as well as he could. We will get one more substitution, and Stones will come off the pitch.
They're wondering who is going to be the guy replacing John Stones in this lineup. Now, ideally, I would think that if it's Stones subbing out, then you would want to replace him on the 4 because you have 5 defenders on the way back. So probably you'd be facing Bukayo Saka or Marcus Rashford in this case if you wanted to go back to the traditional 4-defender lineup.
Alec, I'll say this. Yeah, you're exactly right. I was going to mention that 9 minutes is an eternity here at this point.
Yep. So lots of time for some more late heroics between these two sides. At least 9 minutes. And we've been treated to theater and this iconic rivalry. The winner will face Spain in the World Cup final as Stones is now going to come back into the pitch, as we're going to see him run back. So he was taken out for some time before he was said, good to go. Here is Lionel Messi, 1-on-2, as he was sent this towards the box. Can't get this back. That's excellent defending from Jet Spence. As England will move this down to the near side, Jude Bellingham. And a foot race up against Gonzalo Montiel. Stolen away, that was Cristiano Romero. Romero up for Enzo Fernandez. On the far side, here comes Nico Gonzalez, leading into the left wing for making here. 1-on-1 with Ezri Konsa. Drop back over to Enzo. Enzo flips it back. Nico. Here's McAllister off the post. Lionel Messi can't get this one through. Alexis McAllister had a close chance. Now here's Messi. He'll try to start it. Goal!
Off the post from McAllister toward the right wing, across, header in toward the left side post. Lautaro Martinez is unmarked. Pickford still trying to chase to his line. Easy finish there, dink and dunk for Argentina. And there it is. We've been calling for it all game. I feel like Alec and I have been saying it right. It's been advantage Argentina for quite some time, and I think they're going to finish it off right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Everyone's favorite comedy is back on. That's so England.
Whoops. And you know how many people are rooting for England in this match? Lautaro Martinez enters this one home. Right place, right time for Lionel Messi to deliver a wonder strike of an assist to the Inter Milan man.
I know I'm not trying to repeat this too many times. Alec, with all the substitution that they made, Ian just mentioned it alongside. I think they were trying to play defense essentially from the 70th minute. You're asking way too much for Pickford in this England back line to be able to finish it off. It just never really seemed possible at that point. You can't play defense there essentially for a half hour straight.
No, you can't. And it's those late game heroics that struck again. And for as good as England's defense is, you're just leaving them out to dry.
Yes.
Because at some moment, you just know that the GOAT is going to find a way.
How are they going to do it now? I've been talking about it over the last 15. Is there going to be a quick counter? It's got to be something here. It's go time.
You have to. It's got to be go time for the English. Well, and here, this is where Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane need to find some late game heroics. We saw from Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez. That was time. So Argentina, they do have the defensive structure. And if this result holds, we could see that the man of the match could be either one of Lautaro Martinez or Lionel Messi for his game-breaking abilities. Late in the match, Harry Kane passes blocked, doesn't even reach the goal line. It goes down the sideline. It's a throw-in.
England's going to elect for a couple long throw-ins here, Alec. Interesting decision. They're going to try to go right to the box.
That's what Mexico tried to do against the English. Had to be settled down by Jet Spence. Had her out by Argentina. So Sri Consa is going to inbound it as we're seeing some camera shots of Lionel Scaloni, who is the manager of this club ever since he was appointed. Many have criticized the initial appointment because of his lack of experience, but he knows the Argentine national team. He's played with them in 2006. Headed away by Nico Gonzalez. 1 second at inbound.
Marcus Rashford and Ivan Toney will be your substitutions coming on the pitch for England.
And we have a yellow on Rodrigo de Paul in the meantime, John.
It's another yellow here. That's 3 against Argentina here, but they're not going to care if they can hold on this next about 5 minutes left.
This will be Rashford's first appearance since the game against the Democratic Republic of the Congo. England did get some late game heroics on that one. They need some magic here from Kane or Bellingham. Though Bellingham has been responsible before this game for 4 of the 5 goals that they scored against Mexico and Norway. As this will be Consa inbound into the right side. John Stones comes out as 4 defenders here for the English. Set it up and it's cleared out. And this will be another inbound Argentina. All of a sudden now, they decided to park the bus.
Yeah, they're going to do so a little bit now. Jordan Pickford's going to come out toward midfield to try to throw these services in. It's Hail Mary time for the 3 Lions.
Basically, you can say in hockey, an empty net situation.
Yep.
11 on 10, as you will. As he's going to send this deep down the far side, he's juggled up. And cleared away by Argentina. It's going to be down midfield. And England had to go back to work. They sent the desperation here. Nice header to get this one out of the box. And it's a race for this loose ball, which will be won by Marcus Rashford. Over and back for Pickford. He'll take this out to the middle third. Send this deep to the box. And it'll be settled down. Argentina has Montiel got it away. Held down by the English, the 3 Lions, with time running out on their chase. If this result fails, if this result holds up, England will face France in the 3rd place match at Miami, and Argentina will head to New York, New Jersey. It's over and back, and, well, I don't know what is here. Is there a foul here?
I think Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper, as he caught that for Argentina, is trying to bleed out the clock, Mr. Nava.
I think he is, so I thought that there was going to be a penalty kick on the way, but there was none called, as Emiliano Martinez is bleeding out 4 o'clock. 1.5 minutes left, as this late game on to Messi and Lautaro Martinez in the late stages of the second half. As has been the case, Argentina has relied on late game theatrics. It's the mark of a champion, and they are going to keep up. Rodrigo de Paul will lead this one up, centering it up. England sensing desperation, they intercept it in a hurry. Harry Kane, off the far side. Nobody to feed it to. And as will be an inbound for Argentina. And Argentina taking their sweet time with this. And this will be Nico Gonzalez to inbound it. One step away from their third World Cup final in their 4 tries. Over and up. As Argentina trying to get it down. Kane sends it up ahead. Settled down along the left wing by Marcus Rashford. One-on-one Montiel. It's down deep. Rashford severing pass is knocked away. Argentina winning out some more clock. 30 seconds left. Messi. One-on-one O'Reilly. Almost knocked away as England tried to hunt down the ball. And he committed a foul instead. And Bush gets shoving afterwards predictably.
Yeah, anytime Messi gets involved with a challenge and draws one that's going to draw an Argentinian crowd on the pitch, he looks no worse for wear as Argentina can taste it now, just trying to take more time off the clock.
They're trying to wait for the final whistle to sound here. Well, and now we're going to go on here. Ismail Elfra whistling for the signal to go through as Lionel Messi, he got knocked down by Jude Bellingham. And he had to hold on to the ball so as to protect himself from sustaining a bad injury. So, Andy Martinez to kick this off. And it'll go deep. Argentina waiting for the final whistle. As this ball goes out of bounds, it'll go to England. So right now, the whistle hasn't sounded yet. As Jordan Pickford is pressured along to the right side. England has it already up here. Some dramatics going here. As they keep this in, Nico Gonzalez. They can put the dagger here. And Lionel Messi is going to take some time with the ball. On the far side. As he comes to try to steal. And he falls down. He's asking for a foul. And asking for a foul. None is going to be called here. And it's going to be played back to Andy Martinez. Who'll kick this off. And this will be played by the English. One more time here. Argentina trying to get the final whistle going here. The fans whistling in disgust. This is cleared away. Settled down by Enzo Fernandez, who wants to clear this out. And this will be Bukayo Saka. Does he inbound it? Well, does England inbound it? Saka is not out of the game. The referee has not blown the whistle. The referee has decided to keep this going. We're 2 minutes passing a lot of time, of stoppage time, as it's contested here. This will fall back to Jordan Pickford. Desperation measures. He's going to take this to the midfield line. And this will go towards the box. And Emiliano Martinez.
Handball.
Handball is called. Oh man, we're still going here. And Argentina can just taste it out. So Emiliano Martinez is going to get a goal kick on, and that's likely going to be it. 2-1 Argentina thanks to 2 late goals from Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez. And as Emiliano Martinez kicks it up, the final whistle sounds. The comeback kids are alive and well, and for the first time in the last 4 tries, Argentina is going to play in the FIFA World Cup final.
Man, that was a tale of 2 halves, was it not? It's been a privilege to join you here for the last couple of games. England, Norway, a lot of possession, excitement. First half in this one is just crunching tackle after crunching tackle, a little bit of stare down gamesmanship. But then England gets that counter, they get the opening goal in the second half. But for me, I know we said this here, too much time defending. Felt like they were doing that right from the 70th minute. That's way too much to ask of Pickford. He's got 2 goals against him. Honestly, I don't put any of the blame on him. I will give a lot of credit also to Argentina's back line. They were able to get some tackles really when it mattered, neutralize Bellingham and Kane, and take advantage of it. They move on to play Spain, but for England, way too much time defending for me.
I have to agree. The fact that they weren't able to get another goal from either Bellingham or Kane, that right there is unacceptable. Because your top strikers go scoreless in the game that is going in the semifinal game of the World Cup. I mean, how many shots did those two actually take?
What's somebody begin?
Yeah, I'm talking. Yep, I'm listening to the game on the radio.
Oh, it's over in Argentina, 1-1.
I would say to your answer there, Ian, and I can say with Alec, they had zero. They didn't have a single shot this game for Bellingham or Kane.
Yeah, even so, even if they took those shots, they weren't even on target.
No.
One shot, not on target. Bellingham, no shots.
Yeah, that was a masterclass in the sense of the Argentinian defense that I wasn't sure admittedly coming in. That was the one line that you say that maybe there's some susceptibility there. I think for Spain, probably a little bit more of a challenge for Argentina's defense. That would be conjecture on my part, but I think, Alec, we would have to agree with that from what we saw. But England, that's what they've elected to do with all their substitutions, try to hold. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision, but again, you can't do that around the 70th minute. You called it splendidly throughout the whole second half. They were continually pressing, and they were going to knock down that door until they won. That was obvious to everybody.
And they did. Even after Anthony Gordon scored the opening goal,
Yes.
Argentina didn't quit.
No.
They kept on pressing and pressing. I felt that a 5 defensive backs at formation there, that was a bit curious on my part, but I know that you want to defend the lead as much as you can, but you can't spend all your time on the back third.
No, you can't. And now, what is it? 13 straight World Cup matches here. One for Argentina. Real quickly before I get the heck out of here, what do you think is going to happen on Sunday?
You know, I made the prediction that Spain's going to win in the World Cup. I'm still going to stand by it. I think it's going to come down to a battle of defense between the two of them. Defense. Defense is going to be the name of the game. Where you see some of the headliners on Spain's side, like Rodri, and Marco Correa, Aymeric Laporte, and even the goalkeeper Unai Simon. And Argentina, Cristiano Romero, Lisandro Martinez, as we mentioned. Alexis McAllister, as has been the case. And if you're one of them, can one of these sides connect offensively? We know what Messi is capable of, but will we finally get the breakthrough party from Lamine Yamal that we were waiting to see?
We'll see what we get and what Spain is able to deliver in the final. They will take on Argentina. We know now on the other end it's going to be England and France. Just after 3 Eastern on Saturday. You go have some fun this weekend, Alec. Thank you for letting me jump on board. Hopefully I didn't step all over you. I had a good time.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what we get to. Hope we get to do this again for the final this Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see what we get. I appreciate you, gentlemen. We'll talk soon.
Let's see you then.
Yes, sir.
That's your final. Second soccer game for Alec and I in the books. Argentina wins this 2-1. And I think you can say that that was safely in the bag. You could see it coming here, the way Argentina has been able to press, play well. I think it was just too much defense there for England over from the 70th minute and beyond. That's way too much to ask. I thought Pickford played well, but can't just be all on him. And we'll see what we get. You guys be good. Probably see you next week, if not maybe Sunday. Talk then. Peace.